Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. As you can see, I'm not in my studio, but I'm in an actual studio. Right?
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive. I'm here with Carlos Narvaez, and I'm here with Michael Reed. I want to tell these guys to talk about a bit what they do. They work with PRS. I think we all know that brand, and a lot of people in my channel love that brand. And you're going to be very interested in what these guys have to say today for you guys on the channel. Carlos.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your invitation. We're so glad to be here. Así que gracias a todos, ¿verdad? Para aquellos que hablan de habla hispana, gracias por la invitación. Thank you, Michael, to be here also. So, estamos como en casa. We are in the recording studio of Julio González, so beautiful place.
Yeah, it's called El Padrino Studios, right?
El Padrino Recording Studio, yeah.
So, they are here today because we were doing the Geo Guitar Solo Contest. And it's over, guys. We were like 2 months getting entries, a lot of wait. People were asking about what PRS was bringing for this contest, and it's here. It's right there. I want one of you guys to tell me about this guitar.
Okay, so I'm here because I met Carlos at our open house about a year and a half ago, and we got talking about a lot of things, which included the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Somehow he mentioned about a lot of wood that was salvaged or was attempted to be salvaged from the storm, and one thing led to another, and I came here with another guy that I work with, Paul Platz, and we started to buy mahogany that had been salvaged from all the blowdowns, and our plan is to use that mahogany in the coming year for 2 or 3 different projects that will be very different from one another, but they'll all contain mahogany that came from
from the outcome of Maria, right?
Aftermath of Hurricane Maria, yeah. And hopefully within those projects, it has yet to be determined, but we want to do some kind of a give back, or Paul Smith wants to do some kind of a give back for the people of Puerto Rico, whether it's instruments for school kids or something. We have a few ideas that we're going to run by Paul, and then it's kind of up to him as to what he wants to do. But
awesome.
Trying to make something positive out of a pretty horrific situation.
I'm sure Puerto Rico will be very, very grateful for that. So
yeah, and just to show some honor and respect to the people of Puerto Rico. So
awesome. By the way, I didn't mention this before. You're the master wood buyer, right?
I'm not so well. Yeah, I've been working with Paul Smith for, I'm really embarrassed to say, almost 40 years. So helping him get the wood that he needs. There's 2 of us that do that, myself and Paul Platz. And
but you're the master.
Well,
you can say you're the master.
Yeah. Anyway, we make it happen, or try to, and it's become a lot more complicated through the years for a variety of reasons. But it's a great gig, and hopefully we can continue to do more of this kind of stuff, because it's really interesting and it's got a great backstory, and I think we'll make some unbelievable guitars. There's a couple things coming up with the wood that we're getting here that I think are going to be people are going to be pretty impressed with.
Awesome.
If you like the tops of the guitars of the PRS, and you like all these awesome jobs that the guys from the factory made in the Custom 22, Custom 24, also the artist, the guy that is responsible to find that wood, that grain of wood, is this gentleman right here.
Awesome.
He's the senior wood buyer of the company.
I like master better.
Yeah. and he's also very generous, and is a great guy. The first time that I met Michael asked me rapidly, so how was Puerto Rico since Hurricane Maria? He was really surprised about the response in the island and all the stuff. And well, we talk a lot. I told him that a lot of wood was blowing down with the wind with the winds of Maria and all the stuff, and well, that's the start all. Michael give to Puerto Rico the opportunity to show the potential of the beautiful wood that we got here in the island.
Awesome.
So I know he's surprised also what he found it here, and well, we're blessed to have here he in the island and
Yeah.
PRS supporting this project.
No, definitely. I mean, for my viewers in my channel, we were all extremely surprised when I announced that PRS will be joining this contest. I think people didn't believe me. I think it was.
Let me tell you something. Now, I just mentioned to Mike, hey Mike, there's this guy Gio Melendez. I don't know him, but he's a good guy. He's doing a very nice project contest, and Mike said, "Oh, no problem. We find it something that." So
I like his name, Gio Melendez.
So, I mean, I kind of felt like the prize for a guitar contest should be a guitar.
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
Anyway, and ideally a core guitar would have been great, but they're they're a little spendy, and
Yeah.
but these are great guitars, and it's I think whoever wins is probably going to be pretty happy with it. At least I hope so.
You're gonna be stoked, man. Okay. Talking about guitars and all that, we have 3 pieces of wood here that have a great story behind it, and I want to start with this one that I have right here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but people will start guessing what this is about. So you want to talk about
Yeah, sure.
this?
So, in the mid to late 70s, I was wanting I played violin or fiddle and really couldn't afford a good one. I thought I could probably make one, so I got the Bible on it. I can't remember the name of the book now. It was written in the 1800s, and started looking around for wood. A friend of mine and I, who was also building mandolins at the time, he went with me. We found this small mill in upstate New York. They had this wood. We bought a bunch of it. It's kind of a funny story. I had no money, and my wife was a teacher, so I convinced her to give me an entire paycheck.
That's what I do.
And so she gave me her whole paycheck. It was $214.
That's somewhat you make.
And she said, "You're nuts." I said, "Listen, I think this is going to be a good thing."
Awesome.
And so we bought it was 80 cents a board foot. I bought about 250 board feet. We split it between ourselves. And that wood, there was one log that must have been pretty large because it had quite a few bores and they were all the same. And it was fantastic figured maple, beautiful curly maple. Well, a couple of years later, Paul Smith called me. I had no idea who he was. He was already starting to build guitars. He had built one maple top guitar for Howard Leese of Hart.
Okay.
But the maple had come from an old piece of furniture, and he had no more of it. So he had heard that I had, through a mutual wood supplier,
Okay.
I had some maple. I said, "Yeah, I've got it, and
I got the goods.
you can come see me. I mean, So he came to my shop. I was building period furniture at the time, and I sold him some wood, and
He's been glued to you ever since.
he was, as he began to get more and more orders, that was the very first guitar he had to build for Carlos Santana.
Wow.
So, and he didn't have the wood. He took the order, but he didn't have the
It was
wood.
in 1978.
Well, that's when I bought the wood, and then I didn't put the date on there, but so this is a piece from the same log that Paul built Carlos's very first guitar from. And after that, he began to get more and more orders. People were starting to know who he was, and
Yeah.
we started the factory in '85. He needed a lot more wood. He kept bugging me for wood. I said, I need my wood. You got to stop calling
I'm
me.
like, who the hell are you, man?
And
I need to make furniture.
yeah, and then he started getting his wife to call me. I'm like, don't call me anymore. I'm keeping my wood, And he said, you need to work for me. And I said, well, how much will you pay me? And he told me, and I said, okay.
And he was like,
Yeah. So
definitely.
anyway, that's from the same log as Carlos's first guitar, and
awesome.
Carlos Narvaez, the PRS historian in Puerto Rico, it meant a lot to him, so I sent it to him.
This is yours.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 2 more pieces here that look super, super awesome. And this also has a great, great story. You want to start out the story for this one?
No, let
Oh,
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
Well, so-
Michael's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
Paul Smith has always been really enamored of fairly dense, straight grain mahogany, especially Caribbean mahogany. So the botanical name is Sweetina mahogany, and when I told him that, hey, I think we might have found a source for Caribbean mahogany, he was like, go get it, So,
Do it.
So we got some samples. Carlos got some samples. Anyway, we hooked up with a couple different suppliers. One that we've been buying quite a bit of wood from, a really great guy in Cialis. And so this is a blank, like off the end of a neck blank.
Mm-hmm.
I like the grain on this. This is great.
Yeah, so this piece has a really interesting story. We went to the log yard of Puerto Rico hardwoods and looking at different, mahogany logs, and the guy that I work with, Paul Platts, he was out snooping around the edges of the log yard, and he found this very large log that appeared to be, from the outside, like it had some unusual figure.
Okay.
So we looked at it really closely, and cut a lot of figured logs in the past. We determined that it probably had some potential. It was too big for them to handle, to
Wow.
cut. So we agreed to pay a deposit, and then once we cut it, based on what we got out of the log, we would pay them more. So we ended up actually paying more than double the amount for the log. But we got enough of this to make 50 or 60 guitars, and the figure in it is very, very unusual. I don't even know what you call it. It's a little bit like burl, but it's not burl.
So there's no name for it.
In period furniture, I used to see it, like very, very old, they would call it plum pudding,
Plum pudding.
which is, it kind of looks like plum pits
Okay.
in the purple pudding. But so we're hoping to do a small run with that. This will be the top wood.
Awesome.
And it's going to make some really beautiful guitars.
That's the first Puerto Rican guitar. PRS guitar, right?
Yes. And this log, Puerto Rico Hardwood salvaged it from a FEMA yard.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had seen it there, and they wanted it, and FEMA said, no, you can't have it, or you can't come in, because we're working. I guess insurance, whatever. They said, well, what day can we come get it? They said, the only day we're not working is Christmas. You can come Christmas morning and
Oh
get
my
it.
God.
So they went in there Christmas morning in 2017 and got it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, it would have been turned into mulch.
It's true. Eventually, it just died,
So,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
As much of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was really fortunate. It had been sitting for a while, but mahogany in the log form lasts forever. So,
Awesome.
and it's I'm pretty certain it's the Caribbean variety, the
Okay.
Sweetina mahogany. So anyway, and Paul Smith signed a little scrap of it for Carlos. As,
Awesome.
thank you.
Just show it there.
Yeah,
Looks great.
it's kind of cool.
Awesome. Over there.
Yeah, you know what? The best of that is that shows the big potential that Puerto Rico had for wood. For wood and this is historic.
Yeah,
because it's like you said, this is the first time that a big company, a big factory like PRS had interest to buy guitars with our wood. So that's very important.
So Puerto Rico has always had the potential.
Yeah. Well, historically, there's a lot of luthiers here in the island that are using the wood from Puerto Rico, but not a factory from the mainland, and mostly a factory so important than PRS, because in the modern era, PRS guitars are the most important company around in that business, because we know we got other companies like Gibson or Fender, but in the modern era, PRS is the best.
Yeah, the one of the youngest and biggest, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, Fender's obviously the biggest. Gibson's a distant 2nd, and we're a far distant third. But we have a very large percentage of the high-end market, and we also have the ability to buy a log like that, get it processed. I mean, we're still kind of small enough, and we have enough resources that we've developed. Paul Smith is really, really big on relationships.
Awesome.
Not only customer relations, but suppliers and things like that. And so we've developed a great network of suppliers and people that help us. And the guy that owns the sawmill that cut that, I've been working with him for nearly 30 years, and he's like a master sawyer. I mean, I used to call him my Hasidic Jew, because he's like a diamond cutter. He just can cut the diamond like it's unbelievable. So that's where we cut that log.
Amazing.
And
super.
Yeah, it's a cool story.
Talking about PRS being one of the youngest and upcoming like brands, you can tell that their relationship with the younger players is actually better than other brands, because a lot of the younger players nowadays own PRS, and they use PRS to play from the heavier styles to the not so heavy. Like a PRS can do it all, and you can tell in their artist roster that they have a huge
wide range.
It's so like the service that PRS is doing, even with their artists, it goes wide. It does everything. Talking about artists and guitars, how about we show the guitar for the winner? We're not gonna say right now who's the winner, because they don't know who the winner is. I know who the winner is. But I want a short story about this guitar for people that might not know that this guitar came to be last year. This guitar.
The SE Pauls?
Yeah, this one with the SE. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. The historian might know.
When was this year's guitar? What year?
Right, this year. This is a brand new guitar.
A brand new guitar, right?
This is a brand new guitar. The Paul model is very recently addition to the series of SE. That means student guitar.
Student edition.
Student edition. Sorry. It's a very, very great instrument made by in mahogany, and the top is a veneer of maple.
All maple, yeah.
Yeah. The electronics are awesome, and that represents mostly the Paul Reed Smith guitar. The main guitar, obviously, in a lower
and more affordable.
Yeah, more affordable.
Yeah.
But it's still a great instrument made in the factory of PRS in Indonesia.
Yeah, it's not that heavy. Talk about a little bit of these options right here, because these toggle switches they look great. They're not too tall. They're like short. I really hate toggle switches when they're like really tall, and then you put them in your case, and I don't like that. But this ones they're even.
Paul Smith loved the mini switches. Always.
They're great.
He used it in his first PRS in the 1980s. So he replicates here in that model. So these are two mini switches. This one is for the neck pickup, and the other one is for the bridge pickup. So the function is put out of phase-ish humbucker. So we got here the volume, the tone, the three-way switch. So
and we got the bird inlays.
The bird inlays
in an SE model. So that's a nice touch right there.
PRS has a they always do demo videos explaining all the new products like that. So and Brian Ewald, who does a lot of those videos for us, great player. He's got a 7 or 8 minute video that thoroughly explains and demos.
We'll probably link that video in the description.
The SE, yeah. It's a good video. It's a great video.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Brian's a terrific player.
Awesome. We are very happy. And when I say we, I'm going to talk in behalf of the Puerto Rican guitar scene, if you let me. We are very happy that this is kind of a historic for Puerto Rico in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to be a part of this. I never knew that 3 months ago when I was in my home, probably in my room, my underwear, I was like, I'm going to make a guitar contest. It's going to be great. And now I'm here with these guys holding a PRS that's for one of our winners in a guitar contest, as you can see, and in this lovely studio. So thank you very much for
My pleasure.
coming to Puerto Rico, having Puerto Rico be a very important part in history for PRS, a very important part in history for my own personal life, and for the lives of many players in the island.
You know, in my job description, which I have to read every year when I do my review with Paul Smith, one of the things it says in there, very clearly, look for opportunities. So I remember when after I met Carlos and I had an opportunity to talk to Paul Smith, I was like, Paul, I got this great idea. I said, blah, 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 Puerto Rico, we got this mahogany. And so it's kind of gotten a little bigger since then, which is really cool. And I think we'll probably incorporate it into some other projects, which I probably shouldn't talk about too much right now.
Top secret.
Yeah, anyway, there'll be more of that. And I think that's going to be an important part of the future of guitar making, or at least I feel it should be, especially as our demographic changes. And,
Super.
It's hopefully going a little bit more in that direction.
Yeah, I mean,
creativity and all of that.
Yeah, remember, guys, we were talking about woods, we were talking about side stories, we were talking about gear, but in the end of it all, it's all about music.
Yeah.
In the end of it all, when a company makes an instrument, at the end of that line, it's for an artist, for a customer to make music. So remember that we love gear. You like buying wood, you're a master at it. This guy is a connoisseur of PRS. And I myself, I show a lot of gear, but remember, guys, it's all about music. So this guy is a crucial part of many events that end up being a part of your own musical experience. So thank you, man.
De nada.
Oh, de nada. Well, any more things you want to add before we say goodbye?
I could probably go on and on and on, but that's okay. That's
Yeah,
good. That kind of covers it. We can do some videos in the future when some of these things, come to fruition.
We're gonna hold you accountable for
No
that because
problem.
I got it here.
No problem. No problem.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Don't go, because now we're gonna show you guys the top 10 solos of the contest that I most liked, the honorable mentions, and the third place, second place, and first place winner of many, many more prizes and this PRS SE guitar. So I want to thank Carlos Narvaez for being here.
Thank you.
I want to thank Michael Reed for being here. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank Padrino Studios for hosting us here today. And see you next time, guys. hello guys. Yeah, the moment you have been waiting for, third, second, and first place winners will be announced right now. But first of all, I want to thank all of you for spreading the word out to the point where we got entries all over the globe. We got people from France, we got people from the United Kingdom and Indonesia. You name it, we got an entry from there. So without you guys and your help, the word wouldn't get out. So I want to personally thank all of you wonderful viewers for spreading out the word and making it possible. So third place goes to a very cool dude called Snake Durst. Snake Durst. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Let's call him Solid Snake. So Solid Snake had a very, very unique entry, and I want to kind of give a small explanation why I liked his solo so much. The track was kind of heavy music oriented, so anybody that's trying to solo over it will do very similar things sometimes, but he had a very different approach, very chordy, very different. He just stepped into this progression in a very unique way. It wasn't maybe the most technical, because there were other far more technical ones and shreddy and super fast, but he had a very, very nice musical chordy approach that honestly, ever since I saw his entry, I always kept it in mind, and at the end of it all, it actually reached third place. So I want to say congratulations to Solid Snake for winning third place, and we'll contact you and we'll get all your prizes shipped to you, man. Okay, so second place goes to Robert Mael. Robert was probably like one of the first entries we got, and one of the most powerful ones indeed. I chose him for second place, and here's why. He had everything in his solo. He had tapping, slides, chords, tapping harmonics, but he did it in a very musical and melodic way. He serviced the chords fairly good, and you could almost tell that he knew what each part was needing. He had a good intro, but not great, and that's why I chose him for second place. If he had even stronger intro, he could probably won, but I feel like his solo gets better as it progresses, because there's a certain part in the solo that's so good. He does these tapping arpeggios, and honestly, second place for sure, man. So congratulations, and we will get your prizes shipped to you, man. moment you have been waiting for. After 2 months of waiting, who won the Geo guitar contest? It was a Puerto Rican by the name of Cesar Adames. Cesar did the perfect solo. If this solo was part of another song, I would love this solo. There is literally nothing wrong with his technique. He did the most perfect intro to it. He shows the most precise notes, and there is no flaw in his playing. As soon as I saw his entry, I definitely bumped his to the top 3. And after talking my choices out with Juan Antonio, who is part of this contest and one of the prize donors for this contest, I gotta have a second opinion. So I talked it out with him. I told him all the places that I have chosen for other players, and he concurred. So congratulations to Cesar Adames from Puerto Rico for winning the very first ever Geo Guitar Contest. You won the plethora of prizes that first place has, and including the PRS guitar. So thank you very much for participating, and I just want to say thank you. I can't say thank you enough, because I just couldn't say enough. Thank you. At first I was really scared, and I thought nobody would participate, but as time went by, more entries went in, and I started getting really hyped when I saw entries not only from Puerto Rico but across the globe. I want to thank all the brands involved in this. I want to thank each individual person that shared it, that sent it to a friend, that did anything to help this contest out. I want to say thanks to my sponsors that got involved with this. I just want to thank everybody that made this possible. So thank you, PRS, thank everybody. Oh my god, it's so much people to thank you all. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, click that bell icon, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much.